Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So let me know if you're on live. Let me know if you're here live. I'm just going to give it a minute or two just so that you can jump on. But if you are live, let me know, please. Just drop a comment and let me know and that you can see me and that you can hear me and that everything's working as it should be working. So just let me know if you're here. Drop a comment and let me know. Today, I thought that I'd come on and talk about calories and food and all that good stuff. So we're going to have a little bit of a nutrition chat today. It's been a while since I've done something solely nutrition related, so I thought it'd be a nice little change. So yeah, just let me know if you're here. Hello, Emma. How are you feeling after boot camp? I hope that you're all right. We've just done boot camp and my mum actually joined in today. So my mum did boot camp alongside me, and my mum rocked up with sweatbands on, looking like Mr. Motivator. So it was quite a funny boot camp, to say the least. So yes, it was very funny. And Emma was on that boot camp as well. So yes, if you've just jumped on, today we're going to be talking about calories and food and all that fun stuff. So hello, Carly. Hope you're all right. So yeah, if you're here, just let me know. If you're watching this on replay, let me know that you're watching it on a replay as well, because I do like to know who's jumped on and watched it afterwards. So there's a couple of eating pizza and salad while watching this. So there are a couple of common questions that have come about over the years, and I'm going to address a few of them today. It's all going to be food related. We're going to talk a little bit about calories and all that fun stuff. So if you are stuck and you don't know what you should or shouldn't be doing, this might help you a little bit and shine some light on that. Hey Shan, hello Chantel. Hope you're all right this evening. Hope you're having a lovely evening and you've had a good day. So let's start, shall we? Now, I've wrote a couple of things that popped into my mind that people have asked or frequently ask about calories and all that sort of stuff. So number one that we're going to address is, should we be calorie counting? Should we be calorie counting? Now, I'd love to know if anybody, any of you who are watching right now, if you do count your calories at this present moment, or track them, should I say, just let me know in the chat if you do or not. It doesn't matter if you don't worry, you've not failed the test. I'm just curious as to who does. But should we be calorie counting? Now, the easy, simple answer is no. It's not a should, like we have to do it. There are a couple of things that you can do to lose weight if that's your goal, obviously. So I'll tell you the pros and the cons of calorie counting. So we count calories because the good things about calorie count is that you know how much you are eating, and not just because you might be eating too much, but you might not be eating enough. So calorie counting is good because you know exactly what you are eating, whether you're eating enough, not enough, whether you're overeating. It gives you an idea really of what's happening. Now, you don't have to calorie count, right? It's not super important to do so. However, if you have set goals, then it is the best way in terms of it's very precise. Like if you stick to the calories you meant to, then you are going to get to where you need to be. Now, there are a few downsides to calorie counting. I mean, it's very flexible. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. However, the downsides to calorie counting are you have to do it every day for it to be sort of valid. You can't just calorie count from Monday to Friday because you're in your routine and sack it off for the weekend, because it doesn't work like that. You have to be consistent, like a lot of things. You have to be consistent with your calorie counting. You can't just do it as and when it suits. So that is the downside. It is a commitment that you have to do daily. Now, it's really easy to do. It's not like it's hard to do. And once you put things into your fitness pal, if that's what people use, that's what I would recommend if you don't use that. Once you put things in fitness pal, it's really easy to do. So it's not important though, because if you're not going to do it 100%, don't do it at all. Because then some people sometimes fall into this trap, and this is the one I've been like this before, where I've not stuck to it every single day. So when I do have a day that flops, it tends to be one of them days where you just think, oh, I've already gone over, so what's the point? I might as well carry on eating type of attitude. I don't know if any of you have had that. I'm guessing you might have. I know that I have. So when I've been tracking and I've slipped up one day and gone over, I've just thought, oh, do you know what? I'll just eat rest of these biscuits because I've already started now. So that can happen. The other thing as well is that calorie counting is not for life. It's not something we're going to do forever and ever and ever. However, it gives you a good idea of portion size if you do it for long enough. You sort of just know in a way. Now, if you've got set goals, it is obviously the best method in terms of you will probably get to them a little bit quicker. However, you don't have to do it. You can go on portion size, and portion size can be done with hand portion sizes, and you can actually portion your food looking at your hand, like that's how big your protein should, like how much protein you should have, a fistful of carbs, so there is a way to do it that's like a visual and a hand thing. Again, it just has to be consistent, that's all. So who have we got counting calories? We've got Shan. Emma says mostly. Carly says yep. Chantel says I do at the minute. Shan, I literally did this on Wednesday. Yeah, so you go over and just think, meh, gone over now, what the hell. So it comes with pros and cons. You don't have to track calories to hit your goals. However, it is easier to hit goals when you are doing them, but you need to be doing them consistently. And if you're not going to do it consistently and you're going to do, I've gone over, so what's the point type of thing, then you might as well do the portion size, either visual or using hands. It is normally using hands. Just so that you are at least consistent with that and you're not going to sack that one off. And it's easy to do. It's easy to do. So the answer to the question is, should we be calorie counting? There's no should. There's no should. Hello, Paulette. It's just, if it works for you, yes. If you have a specific goal, it'll be easier to get to it, yes. If I work with clients on a one-to-one basis, it is preferable because then I can see exactly what they're eating and change that on a week-to-week basis if it needs changing, whether that's upping or lowering. The common mistake, though, if you are working out your own calories, anybody out there, do not do them too low. Please. Please. I'm in a fat loss group for women, right, on Facebook. And I like to see what people say in there because obviously they're sort of like people who I would help. And a lot of them are putting stuff about anything below 1,200 is a big fat no. Don't do it. Please do not go under 1,200. And if you're near that 1,200 mark, you're very low. Especially on a day-to-day basis. Like if you're doing a bodybuilding comp, some people push them that low, and they push them that low because they feel like they have to get to where they need to be. If you're a lifestyle, wanting to have a better lifestyle and lose some weight, if you're near 1,200, I'm telling you now, you are too low. Paulette will know what I mean because I coach Paulette, and I do Paulette's calories, and you know what I'm like, I do not like putting people's food low, because it does not have a good impact at all. And if you are doing your own calories and you are eating quite low at the minute, if you notice that you are tired and you feel like shit and you've not got much energy and you crave a lot and all that jazz, that comes with low calories. And do you know what that means? If you're feeling like that a lot, there's more chance of falling off the wagon because you are restricting yourself a lot. You're tired, you feel like shit, you don't want to exercise, you've got no energy, and all this stacks up. And that all comes from your nutrition as well, and other things, but nutrition is a very important thing. I've spent nearly 8 minutes talking about that one question, but that's question one. So should we be calorie counting? The answer is no. It's up to you, but it depends on your goals, but you don't have to do it. Yelled by text to my friend the other day, 800 to 900 a day with 5% carbs, supposedly to kickstart it off before increasing intake. I told it was ridiculous. Yeah, don't put your friend onto me then, because it's just not good. And the thing is, it's not sustainable. I am big on sustainability. I am not here to be yo-yo dieting and fad dieting. That is the whole point of this, is that we get results that last us a lifetime. It becomes a lifestyle. Doing something like that, yeah, you might lose a lot of weight initially, but you're not keeping it off. I'm sorry to say that, but that is just the way it is. So the next one. Right, so are all calories created equal? The answer is no. However, let me explain this how we're going to understand it. So, of course, calories aren't all created equal technically, but on the other hand, they are. So if you're logging on FitnessPal, right, and your goal, let's just say 2,000 calories because that's easier for me. If your goal is 2,000 calories, whatever you eat in that day, if it's 2,000 calories, you've hit your goal. Yeah. If it's under 2,000 calories, we're all good. Yeah, we're all good. However, it could be 2,000 calories because you've had a Mackey's, right? Or it could be 2,000 calories because you've had nutritious food. So a calorie is a calorie. However, it's the nutrients that we get from those calories. Does that make sense? So 2,000 calories of McDonald's might look like this little thing here, just this 2,000 calories in McDonald's, yeah? But then like 2,000 calories of nutrient dense food. So what I mean is like fruit, vegetables, you've got protein sources, chicken, all that sort of stuff, might be like this, all this over here, this massive. So you get more volume, more nutrients, more good stuff. So technically, yes, they're sort of the same. Like when you're logging them on FitnessPal, 2,000 calories is 2,000 calories, whether you've eaten veg, rice, pasta, and all the healthier things all day, or whether you've had a Mackey's, it's still 2,000 calories. But it's sort of like the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals and all the good stuff that you get from the food, the macronutrients, protein, carb, fats, that's all going to be different. So I hope that makes sense. When you're logging them on FitnessPal, it doesn't really make a difference. But in terms of health and what you're getting from the food, they are different in that sense. Yeah? So it's more the nutrient value. And as you can imagine, if you're eating 2,000 calories in Mackey's, that's not a lot all day, is it, really? You've done all your intake in one thing. Whereas if you were eating more nutritious foods, then you'd have a lot more food to eat all day. Then there's less chance that you're going to overeat. There's less chance that you're hungry. So that's the difference. And I hope that does make sense to you. Now, this is a good one. And I do have clients who have said to me before, what should I do for my protein, fats and carbs? Right. So if you're logging on an app, you'll get the option to have, so you put your calories in and then you set your protein, your carbs and your fats normally. Now, let's say we've got a pyramid. Actually, this is a really good way to describe this to you all. So let's say there's a pyramid, right? And the top thing is the thing that we address first. Yeah. At the top, right? In fact, or is it at the bottom that they normally do it? But you know what I mean. If we're going in an order, the first thing that needs to be on point is calories. Calories are king. Calories, calories, calories. It does not matter what your protein, fat, and carb intake is if your calories are squiffy anyway. People jump straight in. What should we have in protein, fat, carbs? What supplements should I take? Right? Forget it. Let's focus on the actual calories first. Now, if you've got a calorie target and you're sticking to that target 7 days a week, and I'm not going to go into calorie cycling and all that stuff because I'm going down rabbit hole there. But if you've got a calorie target and you are stuck to that target, right, then you can start to add in the next thing, right? The next thing that I add in for clients, and I do this with Paulette as well, protein target. That's the next one. So you've got your calories. If we're all good on calories and we're hitting them, then we'll go, right, now I'm going to try and hit a protein target. Not fat and carbs. Just leave them. They're fine. Let's address protein because that's quite important. Important for recovery and all that good stuff. So if you are training, you need to make sure you get enough protein in. We all know that. So protein's the next building block, right? So the next one after that is then carb and fat to manipulate. So a lot of the time, I do not set many clients carb and fat targets. I might do if they have a very specific goal, or like if someone was doing an event, a race, some sort of cardiovascular event or something where they need the energy, then I would suggest a certain split of macros for that. But if from day to day, right, this is the thing, if you're being too regimented with your macronutrients, carb, protein, fat, it's very hard to sort of stick to it on a day-to-day basis, and you're more likely again to look and go, oh, I've gone over my carbs today. Oh, do you know what? And sack it off. So protein, if you're all good on calories, protein, and you've got that there, don't worry too much about carbs and fats. Don't worry too much. Use them where you need them. So if you're going out for a meal with your other half, right, and it's a place that's like a burger place, I don't know. I like burgers. Obviously, we can tell that because I've just referenced burgers a few times. And you're having a burger, it's going to be higher in carbs because of the bun, right? If you've set yourself a fat target and it's like you're doing really high fat and low carb, you're going to go over your carbs having that burger, aren't you? And then you're going to think, oh, do you know what? I've gone over my carbs. I might as well sack it off. So don't worry too much about your carbs and your fats. If you've got a coach who's manipulating them and doing them for you, that's a little bit different because they might be doing it for a certain reason. On general scope of things, just for lifestyle, don't worry too much. I think what we do is we worry too much about the little things when we're not even doing the big things that need doing. Yeah, don't worry about carbs and fats if you've not addressed your protein target. Mm-mm. No need, no need, no need. Chantel, if I'm still having the calories I'm set at, it doesn't matter how much fat, protein, etc. I'm having, as long as it's within my calories. Initially, yes. Initially, just work on calories. Just work on calories. Because, like I say, if you're like, oh my God, I need to have more fat, I need to have less carbs, sometimes you just think, do you know what, you're making it a little bit harder for yourself. Like, if you can stick to it and you can stick to protein, carbs and fats, amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I know that when I used to do it, regimented protein, carb and fat, it took a lot more planning on my part to make sure that I was sticking to all of my macronutrients every day, which meant a lot of pre-planning. I did myself a diet plan. I stuck to the same stuff all the time. It was a little bit easier. If you want that flexibility, then having a calorie target and a protein target still gives you that flexibility in the foods that you decide to eat when you're out and about. That's the important thing, is having that flexibility. So that's why I don't normally give many clients carb and fat targets unless there's a specific reason, depending on their goals. But a lot of the time, it's just more hard work for you lot. More hard work for you lot. Shan, I was on a plan once and they swore that the reason I wasn't losing weight was because I didn't hit my protein, fibre and carbs target. I won't say that was a reason that you're not losing weight. There can be many factors. And if it's solely weight loss as well, and you know my gripe with scales, right? Try not to go solely on weight. And I know I use it in my marketing a lot and I say about weight and that. Is that because you lot understand when I say weight, but the weight is the devil. Yeah, scales are the devil. We want to be focusing on other things as well. And because our weight can fluctuate through a lot of things. You have high carbs. Like I'm having tuna pasta baked tonight. Emma's probably thinking, you have that every night. I have it once a week. It's got a lot of pasta in it. So if I weighed myself tomorrow morning, I would probably weigh more because you will hold water when you've had carbs. That doesn't mean I've put on fat. I'm just holding some water. That's just what our bodies do. So you wouldn't have not been losing weight because you didn't eat your protein, fibre and carbs target. You might have been not set the right calories, not expending enough energy. Like I wouldn't know without actually knowing the full picture, but that wouldn't have been the reason that you weren't losing weight. Yes, I've still been enjoying my little treats at night, and that's what made me stick to it more. Yeah, yeah, definitely have some treats at night. Make sure you're having, like, try and keep your diet as close to what it is now, but like bring them portion sizes to fit within your calories normally, and that just makes it easier. It's when you try and change your old diet and flip it on its head, you think, God, I can't stick to this, it's too much of a change. So small step forward are always better. Right, the next one. So how many calories should I be having? It depends, right? It depends. Now, if you have had your calories worked out via an app like MyFitnessPal, right, ignore it. Right, ignore it, because it'll probably have worked it out way low. Please ignore it. Now, it's not hard to work your calories out, but I would just not do it through these apps, because if you'll end up putting in, this is my height, this is my weight, I want to lose 3 pounds a week, 1,000 calories. So definitely don't do that. When it comes to calories, right, you can work it out and you'll get a figure, right? You'll get a figure, this figure here. What you do is you do your calories to this figure here, but then they might need changing, right? And that's why when people say to me, Daisy, will you do me a diet plan? The answer's no. It's not because I can't do it. It's because it might need changing next week. You need to see how your body reacts to these calories. They might need putting up, they might need bringing down, and that depends on quite a few different factors. Not just the fact whether you've lost weight or not, it depends on many things. That's why I get clients to do a check-in at the end of the week, and I ask them specific questions about how they feel, how things are going, how have they trained, how's your sessions been, anything like that. Loads of different questions, because then I can gauge whether or not these calories are too high, too low. We can shift them up, shift them down, and it massively does depend, right? So I know that's a very open-ended sort of one, but once you've got your calorie target, you need to see how you feel once you've been on them calories for a bit, right? And don't just keep doing this, because this is a common mistake, right? You work your calories out, they're here. You stick to them for a week, you think, right, know what's happened, I'm going to bring them down a bit. So you bring them down a bit. Then you might lose a pound. Think, oh, I'm going to bring them down a bit more. And you'll bring them down a bit more. Please stop doing this where you bring them down, 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 because you can actually lose weight by not dropping your calories into a silly low level, right? And the only time you really need to drop them silly low is if you don't eat enough in the first place. And I'm going to reference Paulette again, but what I did with Paulette, which you lot might be thinking, oh my God, that'd be awful, I made her eat more. Yes. I was like, we're going to put your calories up for a bit. We need to put them up. So we put them up. Because you cannot start dieting or try and lose weight and bring your calories down if you're already only eating 1,400 a day. How can you go further down than that? Ugh. You can't push much lower than that without starting to feel dreadful and not having a life. So if you are already eating low, they need to go up. I'm sorry. They need to go up. And sometimes when you push them up, you'll get a lot better response when you nudge them down a touch. Here's an example for you, and this obviously I did exercise a lot. I mean, if you sit around a lot and you don't exercise, then this would not be sort of relevant. However, I pushed my calories up back in competing days. I don't really do this anymore. I don't really track calories at all now. But I pushed mine up to, you're probably going to think, oh my God, 2,200 and something. That's what I pushed mine up to. And I felt like I was eating all the time. Good stuff. Like, I didn't eat burgers and all that. It were like rice, pasta, clean food as we call it. But it was a lot of food. It was a lot of food. But then as soon as I wanted to drop weight, yes, I had to get a little bit fluffy and put a little bit of weight on. Not horrendously, but But then as soon as them calories got dropped slightly, my body reacted. It was like, whoa, I'm losing weight. You could see straight away tightening up. So if you eat very little calories, right, or if you've been eating quite low for some time, whether that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,500, even maybe even 1,600, I say, if you're eating around them for that point for a very, 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 very long time, you need a break. You need a break. And I know you have breaks like around Christmas and stuff, but I mean where you actually push things up controlled and actually log it and actually know what you're doing, and do it for a longer period of time. I mean, with Paulette, that was very scary, but it did work. Yes, it is very scary, I know. We didn't actually push up for as long as I wanted to because it was getting to near Christmas, so we wanted to drop a little bit before Christmas and bring them up slightly for Christmas. However, you want to be pushing them up and being on higher calories for a little bit longer, because then when you do drop them, and this is the perfect time, by the way, to push those calories up just a little bit, just to get everything feeling good again, then dropping them ready for summertime so you can, get to where you want to be for summer. Anyway, I'm going right technical into this, aren't I? But that's what I would do anyway. So if you've been eating very low for very long, you need to bring them up a little bit, even though it is scary. And you'll feel a lot better as well. And if you exercise and you're exercising hard, in fact, you probably will exercise more and better when you've got more fuel in you. You'll actually have more energy to go and exercise and push yourself and enjoy it. And guess what, ladies, if you want to be toned, right? And we all know that tone actually means building muscle. Muscle tone comes from lifting weights and building muscle. If you want to be toned and have a nice big peachy bum, that's one of my goals, you need to eat. You need to eat to grow your arse, To grow any muscle, you need to eat. If you are constantly in a deficit, you will never grow the bum that you want or whatever muscle it might be. You need to eat to grow. Yeah. Now I'm going to run through these next few. Right, I'll quicken it up for you all because I'm keeping you forever. I'm sorry, I just get off on a tangent. I hope I'm providing value though. I hope that you're listening in and thinking, do you know what, this is really helpful. I hope that's the way you feel. Let me know if it is. Another one, should I be having breakfast? I hear this a lot. Should I be having breakfast? If you are a child, yes, you should be having breakfast because you are still growing and it's very important that children eat breakfast, right? And that's what we always got told, didn't we? Do you remember? Eat your breakfast, eat your breakfast. It's the most important meal at day. As adults, it's not the same concept. If you don't want to eat breakfast, right, don't eat breakfast. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do what works for you. It's the overall calories for the day. I am currently eating breakfast. I don't normally eat breakfast. I normally have my breakfast at about 12 in the afternoon. I like to fast. It works for me. I'm not saying do fasting because people then think I'm telling people to fast and I'm not. But I fast because it works for me. But I haven't been doing recently because I'm due on in a week. And you know what it's like, ladies, when you're due on, you just want to eat. So first thing when I get up, I am having my breakfast for this week. But it's not the most important meal of the day if you don't want to have it. So that clears that one up. If you don't want breakfast, don't have it. But don't leave yourself to that point where you're absolutely ravenous at dinner time. And that's when you're like, oh God, just give me a bag of crisps, anything. So, you know, as long as the meal that you do have first is a good meal. I still have my breakfast. I just have it at 12 o'clock. It's the same thing I have in the morning, eggs on toast or whatever, but it's just, I just have it at 12. So, you know, just think about where you're going to be at the time when you need to eat, and are you got a good meal there to eat, or are you going to be like, give me a bag of crisps, I need anything, donut, come on quick, just get me in Costa, quick, coffee shop, something. Yeah, so again, it's all to do with you. It's not what I do, it's what works best for you. Can I eat after 6 o'clock? That's another one that I hear a lot. Should I be eating after 6? I eat after 6. I've got my tea after this. It's 7:30, so I've got my tea soon. So it's not like you can't. Just the only thing is your metabolism does slow down in the evening. Your metabolism slows down because you're getting ready to wind down, you're getting ready for bed. So, you know, it's not advised to eat a massive meal and go to bed, but when people say you can't eat after 6, you can, you'll be fine, but I wouldn't advise having a 20-inch pepperoni pizza from Domino's at 9 o'clock when you're getting in bed at 9:30. But it's not going to be detrimental to your goals if you have your tea at 7:30. But, you know, portion, again, if you're sticking to portion size, right, you shouldn't be having a meal that's this big anyway. You should be having a meal that suits you, your body size. If you're calorie counting, again, I would have most of my calories in the afternoon. I would try and have mine more so around when I train. I'm not going to get technical, but you know, utilizing the food that I eat around training and have a smaller tea like in the evening. So the answer to that one, the simple answer, before I go deep diving into it even more, can you eat after 6? Yes. Yes, but your metabolism does slow down later on into the night, ready for bed. So I wouldn't be eating anything mahoosive just before I put my head on the pillow, right? It's not going to kill you if you do, though. Odd times we do, don't we? You know, like when you've been on a night out or something and you might have something really late on. Odd times not going to kill you, but I won't make a habit of eating something massive at 9 o'clock at night. Last one now, and I could probably do a million and one of these questions. Do you know what? If you've got any like questions or anything like that, a lot of these have come from that little group I'm in, right? It gives me inspiration because I see all these posts and see all these things and I think, God, there must be many people thinking this because like there's loads of people commenting on this. So I got my inspo from there. This one kills me, this. What's the best meal replacement? Oh my God. Right, here we go. I'm going to try not to rant. I'm not going to rant. You don't need to have meal replacement shakes, right? That's the first thing. Here's the thing. Let's say this is my meal replacement shake. This beautiful bottle of water. I'm not a vegan, by the way. There's 300, no, there'd be more than 300 calories. There's 400 calories in this meal replacement shake, right? 400 calories. Now, I could either have this 400 calories and drink it, or I could make myself a meal. And I'm going to be boring and just say chicken, rice, and veg because it's the first thing that comes to my mind. But if you could have a really nice meal for 400 calories that will actually satisfy you and fill a hole, as I call it. Me drinking 400 calories, do you know what I'd rather do? I think I'd rather go to McDonald's and have a milkshake and actually really enjoy it than have a meal replacement shake. So if you want to lose weight, right, and you're like, I want to lose weight, I'm going to do shakes. I'm not telling anybody not to do it. You do what you want, but you don't need to do it. Like, we all enjoy eating, unless you hate eating or you've got like some sort of thing where you can't physically eat solid foods and you have to have everything in liquid, then fair enough. But if you eat solid foods and you enjoy eating food, you don't need a meal replacement. And I know you might say, yeah, but they've got vitamins and minerals in and all that sort of good stuff. So is food. So is food. And you're not going to be paying over odds for a massive tub of meal replacement shake. So my personal advice to you lot is don't have meal replacement shakes. Just eat good food. Eat good food that you enjoy. Don't waste your money on tubs of meal replacement. And you might say, yeah, but it's easy for me while I'm at work. If it's easy for you while you're at work, then fair enough. But I personally wouldn't have a meal replacement shake just because they normally tend to have a lot more calories in. And like I say, I'd rather not drink 400, 500 calories. If I was at work and really busy, I would probably have myself a protein shake just to tide me over till I could actually eat something physical, physical and solid. But I would not be using them as a method of losing weight. Think again, sustainability, longevity. Are you going to live off meal replacement shakes? Probably not. And when you go back to eating normal food, you just want to binge. You'll just want to eat everything. And the reason I say that is because I've done Slim Fast. That's right. Daisy Cumberland has done Slim Fast. Obviously, before I were a coach, I was 18 years old when I did Slim Fast. And all right, I lost weight while I was doing it, but Jesus Christ, I was miserable, I was hungry, and as soon as I started eating normal again, I put all that weight back on. So it was pointless. I spent all that money and all them shakes and put it all back on. So that's how I know, because I'm talking from experience on that one. So I hope this has been valuable today. I've done a really long one today. I've been on for like over half an hour, which is just unheard of, isn't it? But I hope you've really got some value from this. Like I say, I have been going through that other group to sort of see what a lot of the ladies are talking about and what they're asking and what the problems are. And when it comes to calories, these are things that I've seen a lot and heard a lot as well through my career. So I hope that you've actually taken something from this and it will help you on your journey. If anybody does want help with their calories, nutrition, or anything like that, I am happy to help you. You just have to reach out and ask, and we can sort something out where I can help you with that. But like I say, please don't ask me if I'll do your diet plan, because I do not do diet plans, because these things need tweaking. And they might need tweaking every week, they might need tweaking every month, but they do need tweaking. It's not going to be, here's your calories, that's all you're going to eat forever, because it doesn't work like that. So, have a lovely evening, everybody. I'll be back next week. If you've got something that you'd want me to talk about that's going to be really valuable to you, then please let me know, because I'd rather speak about what you lot find interesting and valuable than just waffle stuff that you're not too fussed about. I'll keep my eye on that other group as well to see if there's any more interesting questions that pop up, because I write them in my little book. And I can do trainings on them. But yeah, have a lovely evening, everyone. I'll be back next week on Thursday at 7 o'clock. I look forward to seeing you all on the call. And have a good week and a weekend. See you later, everyone.